Stitch number 33 is to sew buttons on your fabric. We're going to go ahead and select row 1, stitch number 33, and touch OK. I want to show you a few things around the screen here. First off, it talks about having no presser foot, feed dogs that are lowered. I'll show you where this is added. That multi-purpose tool that we've showed is an optional accessory. That is something that you can use to create a shank of thread. Tension is set at normal. And then this part here where there's a plus and minus, but you notice a slightly different symbol. This is how many times back and forth the machine will sew before it stops. Right now it starts off at 8 times. You can increase that for more stitches or less stitches. So we'll leave it at 8. And the stitch width is 3. You are going to find that even though you might have one button that's big and one button that's small, those holes are about the same as you line them up over the top of each other. So let's go ahead and show you how this works. First, lower the feed teeth down by sliding this lever in front of the free arm to the minus sign. Keep in mind when you're done and you slide this back, those teeth will not come up until you actually take a stitch. I've been known to just even hand turn a stitch so I can see that come all the way up. All right, so we're going to position our fabric underneath. I'm going to do this first one just without the regular presser foot, but on a button that has 4 holes. So I'm going to go ahead and start in the front 2. That allows a little bit more of this part of the foot, the shank, to sit on the button. Then I'm going to make sure that I am aligned with this. So as I go side to side, I'm going to make sure that my needle is going to catch in both of those. Oh, I need to actually leave those down. You can kind of feel, even though it won't move your fabric through, those teeth come up and tap the button, and I sure don't want it to slide while I'm trying to stitch it in place. So we'll slide that back in, and then we'll just go ahead and stitch, and I'll stitch those 8 stitches back and forth with a locking stitch at the end. You can use the thread cutter. It knows to make sure to put the needle down in one of those holes. Now for smaller buttons like this one, if you feel like you don't have enough button for this foot to sit on, you can always pull it out and then stitch the remaining 2 holes with the foot sitting on your previous stitching. Once again, I'm going to check that swing, 1 and 2, and then go ahead and stitch. And it locks. You notice 8 stitches is not very much, and then the cut at the end. Now, by stitching directly onto the fabric here with our foot, there is not a lot of movement. So if you're working with decorative buttons, like you're just stitching them on for fun placement of a decoration, you don't want them flopping around. But when you're actually working with a garment, something that will have a piece of fabric buttoned underneath this, you need a little bit room for that fabric. So we're going to use the optional multi-purpose tool. And you're going to do the same exact thing, but this time set the tool just like the picture shows you on your machine. What I like to do is actually lower a needle down in one of the holes. You're going to notice if it's on the left side, put it into the left hole, and then go ahead and set the foot in place there. And just make sure that doesn't spin on me. And then I'm going to take one more stitch to the side and make sure that that catches in the hole. And then if you want to just double check nothing's moved, go ahead and stitch there. And now what we have is a little extra part of thread that will allow for the fabric to come underneath that. And that's really easy to actually do there.